Good Monday morning, everybody. My name's DeEtte Ranae here, and I am with Schooled Thru Spirit on WLTK. Let's Talk Digital Radio. Schooled Thru Spirit is a show to explore different people's lives, their journeys, and how spirit has impacted them. Now, I do talk to people from different modalities of spirituality, and others that have just found spirit has really impacted their life. Now, each week I do speak about a topic that spirit has given me. And then we go on to our guest. Now, our guest this week is our very own Todd Bates. Woo-hoo-hoo. I like to call him the original paranormal investigator, but I don't think he's that old. And I think he's going to get me for that one later. But he does have a huge paranormal investigation background. He has worked on set or advising for some paranormal TV shows out there. He's been all over the game. He's been doing radio forever and a day. And I'm telling you what, you're going to really enjoy him. You really are. And if I survive the end of the day, you'll see me next week. So as you can see, we're on a different set. Can you believe it? And that just means because construction is continuing. So we're back here for a week or two. And then hopefully we'll be back in the office. That'll be exciting. Hoot, hoot. So today, just so you know where to find us, okay? Hopefully you're already listened, but if you're not, okay, you can see the live stream, which is my face and Todd's face in a little bit. You can see that on Twitter. You can see it on Twitch. You can see it on YouTube. You can see it on Facebook. Oh my gosh, so many avenues. You cannot say you did not find the link. Or you can go straight to the show, okay? And that is the website, which is WLTK-DB.com. Just hit the listen live. Now, if at any time throughout this show you find out that, oh my God, I really cannot listen to it right now. I have to wait till later. I have to go to work. The kids are screaming, whatever ever in life comes up. Because trust me, I know things in life come up. We go to podcast form. As soon as the show is over, within a very short amount of time, Todd gets the producer, gets a show switched over to Podbeam, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcast, Audible, Amazon Music. We are all over the place. And hopefully one day Pandora will say yes. Excuse me. Yes, I'm back into the room that sneezes. Oh, didn't you miss them? So we are all over. And it doesn't sound like a lot, but it's huge. Podbeam, we've had 10,000 downloads. 10,000 downloads. To me, that's freaking huge. This is just the beginning for us. So considering that has happened, it's awesome. Excuse me again. It's almost like sneezes on the truth. You know, that's what we say. When you sneeze, you're sneezing on the truth. Okay, some other very exciting things that are happening. Drum roll. We are doing on this show, this very show, Monday morning, August 23rd, I believe it is. August 23rd. I got to make sure I'm looking at the date. It is August 23rd. Myself and Missy Hart, the host of the Good Shit Show, and you have seen her with me a few times. We are going to do live readings. Can you believe it? Live readings. The banner is already up on all the platforms for myself that I use throughout Facebook. Missy is sharing them. Share, and get that banner out every place, because this is the first time that we are going to be doing this. We are doing live readings, okay? They're all going to be psychic readings, not mediumship readings, but psychic readings. And when you comment and you ask a question, we're going to get to as many as we possibly can. Okay, we're going to just try to get them rolling and see where we can go with those. You know, my guest is usually on for an hour, but I'll tell you what, if you're commenting, we're going to continue for a little longer. We're going to try to get as many in as we possibly can before the show is over. Okay, because that day, I don't know if we're going to need a card reading. We'll just talk through it and bingo right to the very end. But you have to comment, you have to ask questions, and you got to make us work that day for that one. Okay, so that's in a few weeks, August 23rd. Now, I hear ya. Thank you. I'm getting sarcastic with my team over here. Because I was going, and let's go to the next subject. And they just said, and moving forward. And that is what I'm talking about today, is that moving forward, that next step. Okay, that next step. Now, it is so funny because the next step, we're always thinking about what do we do next? What's next? What's next? What's next? But we don't always take those steps, do we? We don't always take those steps. We always want them, but we don't necessarily take them. So I'm talking about those next steps. And what I believe, Spirit has been, because, I'm a sucker for a good rating, just like anybody is. I don't necessarily always seek them out, but you know what? If you're going to offer one, I'm going to take it. It just is what it is. Because who doesn't want to have a rating? So this last weekend, I have been thinking over the last couple of weeks, what's next? What's next? And my horoscope has been saying my planets are arranging for some bigger opportunities that are coming up. Everything's been going in that direction. It's been pretty awesome to see that. But there's not a whole lot of things presenting themselves. Okay, they haven't been presenting themselves. I can't say that because they have been. Okay, they're smaller steps, and it's really funny because I started to doubt because I'm like anybody. I want immediate gratification. I want to know right now. I'm like, oh my god, now. I want to know what's next right now. Okay, I don't want to be patient. I don't want to sit on my hands and my fingers and twiddling my thumbs and always trying to figure out what that next opportunity is, that next whatever. But sometimes we have to sit back and we have to wait. Okay, we have to wait. Now, I will tell you what, I'm not a good person at waiting either. Okay, I really am not a good person at waiting myself. But there's a lot of things that you can do during the interim. Okay, there's a lot of things you can do during that interim. And sometimes it's kind of hard to see that. Now, I've had some experiences over this last weekend, some amazing experience. I'll tell you what, huge experiences for me. And they're really eye-opening experiences. Because in my world, we don't get the what's next until we've done the steps of today. Okay, we have to be kind of like even balanced. The good Lord, the Spirit, whatever you want to call it, is not going to catapult you into the future, into bigger things until you're ready for it. So you have to create a foundation. You have to get yourself to a certain point where you've done the work. And you've gotten yourself to where you're ready for those next steps, for that what's next. And I'm always sitting there going like, have I done the work? Have I done enough work? Is there something more I need to do? Always soul searching, always looking deeper, always going, oh my God, I'm just itching and touching everything today. But I'm always looking for that deeper. And I'm not necessarily always looking at how far I've come. I'm looking to do more, but I'm not taking a deep breath, relaxing, and seeing how far I've come to meet those next challenges. Okay. So this weekend, I had this beautiful opportunity to go up north again. Okay. To go up north today. Excuse me, gosh, I'm coughing and everything else. I'm touching everything. Wow. I can just feel the dust of construction. But I had this amazing opportunity to go up north, okay? And anybody that knows me, I love the Northwoods. It is just my happy space. The Northwoods of Wisconsin, it has got so many beautiful trees and forests and foliage and creeks and lakes. And it's just, the energy is phenomenal. And oh my gosh, I can never just get enough of it. I can never get enough of it. And any opportunity I get up there it's just mind-blowing for me. And I got the opportunity to go up there, and it was just amazing. And when I got up there, normally I'm like, I want things this way. And, because I'm very short term, very short amount of time. It's always just a few hours that I'm there. And there's so many people I want to see and so many things I want to do. And I plan it out. I do. And a lot of times my plans work exactly how they're supposed to. This time it didn't. This time it didn't come close. Okay? This time it didn't come close. But I found in that period of time, in that time that I was there, and all of those plans that I had didn't come close, I found that I had had huge growth. And it was pretty amazing to see that, you see different personalities, you see opposition, things don't happen the way you want them to happen. Um, you see other people and their growth. You see all these amazing things happening, and you just sit back and you take it in, and you're in awe of your own growth, and you're in awe of everybody else around you. And the fact that, when I say I love up north, it's not just because I love the north. That's where my healing began. That's where I ran to. When my life came crashing down and I needed to heal, I ran north. I ran to Hayward. I hid in the woods. Okay. So that is where my bare bones are. That is where my raw beginnings are. Okay. At least of my healing journey. Okay. That's where that starts, is up there in that north woods. So the people that know me from up there know me from a very raw, explosive period of time. Excuse me, when I say explosive, I do mean explosive, because I was a ball of emotions. I didn't know what was coming going. I was empathic. I didn't realize I was empathic. I was taking on everybody else's stuff. I was just like, ugh. And I was trying to find myself and find who I was and what I was going to do in life. And I didn't know. And it took a community of people to come together to help me. And they came in all shapes and sizes and statuses when you're looking at financial or industry. I mean, it was everybody from literally some of probably the poorest people I've ever known to the richest people I've ever known. And each of them so amazing in all their individual ways to bring me back together, to help me heal. And it was just phenomenal. So when I get that chance to go up north, I find they are a good indicator of how far I've come. They're a good indicator of how far I've come. And it was amazing because I did have all those opportunities to see how far I've come. And when it's been, wow, 6, 7 years. 7 years since that, maybe 8, almost 7.5, almost 8 years now, since the first day that I just ran up there. And it was just sincerely amazing, awesome. It's just phenomenal. So I was able to sit back and see this huge growth that I've had, even so much growth since I had the last time I was there, and how I dealt with situations. How, not just how I dealt with it, but how I viewed them. Oh my gosh, it's not even how I dealt, because I tell you what, I can teach a 3-year-old how to deal with a situation. That's easy. Sit on your butt and shut up. you know it's how you view a situation, how you interpret a situation, and sometimes it's just how you sit back and allow the situation to go and see a much bigger picture, a huge picture, and allowing somebody else to be in the way they need to be, and knowing that it's perfectly okay, because it's just them doing them. It's awesome. And it was beautiful for myself to sit back and almost watch myself as I was there and my own growth. So then I had that natural thought come up, what's next? It feels like I've done the work. It feels like I'm to that next point in life. It feels like I am ready for whatever's to come next now. I have finally cleared that slate. I've taken my garage, I've cleaned it, I've popped the door open, I've brushed the leaves and the twigs away. Everything's ready to go. Now all I gotta do is pull the car out and drive forward. Okay. It was pretty amazing, because when that happened, my friend and I, we sat down, because we always spend one night just sitting doing tarot cards, or oracle cards actually. And she has just got tons of oracle cards. So it's so much fun to go play. It's always a blast to go play. And I go up there and I go, okay, where are they at now? And I go and I find them and I just pick decks that resonate, that I'm like, oh my gosh. It's not always just your new ones because there's always a new deck. And then sometimes the deck just flies off the shelf at you and you got to pick it up and you got to go play. And it was so interesting because I ended up grabbing, I believe it was 6 decks. 6 decks. And I would shuffle the cards and she did readings on each one of the 6 decks. And it's just awesome. It's awesome. And it was totally amazing to see that each message, each deck gave. I mean, the message didn't change. It doesn't matter how. I think we could have pulled cards from every deck. It didn't matter if we pulled 1 card or if we pulled 5 cards. It didn't matter. Every one of them said, I've done the work. My foundation is ready for the next step. Pretty awesome. And then, because as you know, every card has got a number, and we use numerology at that point. And the numbers kept coming down to 1s, 3s, 9s, and 11s. Every time. 1, 3, 9s, and 11s. Which are all about their master numbers or their beginning numbers. And it was just amazing to see those numbers show up. And the 9 only showed up when we did 4 cards. So it was amazing. It was awesome to see that happen, see that journey, see where that was progressing. After the cards, though, and after the weekend, I was driving home yesterday, and I had a lot of driving because it was awesome. It was awesome because, we came into yesterday, and we drove to Lake Superior. We drove up to Lake Superior. By the way, I ate at Delta Diner. If you haven't been there, you need to go. That famous TV dude, Guy Ferrara, I think, I'm not sure. Blonde dude, goes to all the diners. He was there. It's good. It's worth it to go. But went there and ate and then went up to Lake Superior and just did some more soul searching. And it was pretty amazing just to lay there in the sand and look at that expansive, beautiful, beautiful, body of water. Put my feet in the water, and by the way, it's frigid still. And sit there and just be calm. And for the first time in a long time, I wasn't screaming, what's next? Because I don't necessarily need to know what's next. I just need to know that something next is coming. I need to know that I've done the work for the foundation to get to where I'm at. I need to know that that there might be a little bit more and that I'll be okay because I've made it through so much. When I look over the 50 years of my life, especially the last years of healing, and how much is behind me. And now I just be able to know that what is next isn't necessarily what I consciously have planned for, but I know it's going to come into light. I know it's going to happen. I know I'm ready for it. Okay? I know I'm ready for it. I know that a few weeks ago I had fear of whatever might be next. Okay? Because fear is that, remember, as we talked, fear is of the unknown. Fear is of that, I don't know what's coming. I don't know if I'm ready for it. I don't know if I've done the work for it. I'm fearful that maybe I can't handle it, whatever the fears may be. And right now, I can honestly say I'm sitting at a point where I can say, what's next? What's coming next? I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready for whatever the universe is going to bring to me. I'm ready with open hands to say, they're free, they're clear. I can handle it. Bring it on, baby. We got this. And that's a pretty amazing place to be. Now, I will tell you, when the what next comes, whatever that might be, everything starts over again. Isn't that amazing? Everything starts over again. Because now you're starting with a brand new place, a brand new place of uncertainty, a brand new place of fear, a brand new place of excitement, a brand new place of learning and growth. And a new you is about to be formed. Because through the experiences of what's next, through all those experiences, you are going to change again. You are going to change. You are going to grow. You are not going to be the person you were yesterday any longer. So for these peaceful moments that I have right now of all the work I've done, all the amazing opportunities I've had to grow and to learn and to experience and to heal, all of those, I only get to sit for a few, really just a few moments to sit and have gratitude of all that has happened. Because those new opportunities are coming. Those new opportunities are presenting themselves. Those new opportunities are coming, and my hands are open. So my hands are open and saying, come on, I'm ready. They're not just saying, I'm ready for that new experience. I'm ready for the opportunity because I've done the growth. They're also saying, I am ready to do it again. I am ready to grow again. I am ready to experience again. I am ready to cry again. I am ready to scream again. I'm ready for laughter again. I'm ready for love again. I'm ready to go through the whole process and be proud of myself again. And that's really what's next, isn't it? That's the what next of life, isn't it? Because we're always waiting for those big opportunities. We're always waiting for those big doors to open up and have that career change or have that promotion or, to meet that person, to get married, to have a family. We're always waiting for that what's next. And we're always looking for the tangible. We're always looking for that tangible. But at the end of the day, it might not be the tangible that really matters. I mean, it's glorious. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. If tomorrow they offered me a book deal and a TV deal and booyah, damn right it's going to be awesome. I'd be terrified, but it'd be awesome, wouldn't it? It'd be phenomenal. I'd be like, hoot, hoot, let's go. But really, really, what is it that I'm saying yes to? What is it that opportunity for? Is the opportunity really to write the book? It is. But what else is involved in writing that book? It's a whole lot of experiences. It's a whole lot of growth. It's a whole lot of soul searching and soul pouring and laughter and tears and nervousness and deadlines and experiences of dealing with publicists and editors and everything that comes with it. Not to mention launch dates and public appearance, everything. All of those opportunities, all those experiences, all those chances for growth. That is what I'm saying yes to, if that presents itself. And that's the same with anything. That is the same with anything. Because I'll tell you what, you can have the same job like back when I was doing nursing. When I was nursing 24/7, and it was 24/7, I swear. I could have been doing the same job every day. Every day. And maybe the opportunity of growth was either a promotion or maybe it was a new patient with different situations, complications, or medical issues or whatever, something I haven't dealt with yet. And maybe that was my what next, my new experience of growth and learning. Pretty cool, isn't it? Pretty cool. Changes the dynamic. It changes the viewpoint of everything when you start looking at it that way. Okay? It also changes the viewpoint of what really is important in life. Now, I'll tell you what, I'm never going to stop shooting for that furthering myself within my career. Never going to stop that. I always want to push myself forward. I always want to be better than I was on my last reading. I always want to be a better teacher than I was to my last student. I always want a radio show that's better than my last one. I want to be able to explore different things. I want to be able to grow. I want to experience, and I want different opportunities always to present themselves so I can jump on the bandwagon and say, oh my God, let's do this. Huge. But I will tell you what, 6 months after it's all happened, I won't be thinking about necessarily the promotion or all the other things that have occurred. I might just be thinking about that growth. I might just be thinking about where I am now compared to where I was, and who I am now compared to who I was. And when I absorb it and bring that all in, and I analyze it, or I take that into my soul and make that part of the new foundation, that's when my heart and my soul will be screaming for the what's next. What's the next opportunity for my growth? So I want you to spend some time this week thinking what's next for your opportunity and your growth. Okay, that's huge, isn't it? It's flipping huge. Okay, everybody. So we're going to take a few minute break here, okay? And when we come back, I'm going to have Mr. Todd Bates here with me, and he promised it. He got dressed for the day. So, I mean, literally, we're in the day of the radio guy who's been the voice behind the camera is going to come out and say hi to everybody. So everybody's going to finally meet my producer. If you haven't met him today, you will meet him tomorrow night, because I know you're going to want to go watch and listen to his show. So this is DeEtte Ranae with Schooled Thru Spirit on WLTK Digital Radio. Be back in a few.
Paranormal evidence. We scour the internet searching for true paranormal captures, information, and education. New methods mixed with old methods of capturing this mysterious phenomenon. Well, look no further for your ghostly voices than ghostly-voices.com. Nicole Tito and Lisa Crick take you on a journey into their paranormal world and provide you with true EVP and ITC audio captures, compelling information on debunking, some hilarious bloopers, and more. Remember, these two are veterans in the field and know how to capture the true evidence you are looking for. Ghostly-voices.com, your paranormal stop for true audio evidence. Ghostly-voices.com. A book of mystery, a book of one man's journey, a book of the afterlife, a book you must read. Ghost and Me by 5-time award-winning author Kevin Killen is a book of one man's journey in the search of the afterlife. Read of his chilling childhood experience, his investigative journeys, and his opinions of paranormal activity. Ghost and Me by Kevin Killen, an Ozark Mountain publication. Get your copy today online or wherever books are sold.
Hey, welcome back here to School Through Spirit. I'm DeEtte Ranae, your host here, and we are in WLTK, Let's Talk Digital Radio. I'd like to welcome in Todd Bates. Hello, Todd.
Hi,
I
good
told
morning.
everybody they were going to get to see you finally. I get to see you finally.
I try to stay hidden.
I know, even when we speak. So, Todd, I kind of talked a little bit of, earlier in the very beginning about you being one of the original paranormal investigators
Oh my goodness.
and radio and, helped with some TVs and news everywhere. Can you talk to people about your beginnings? So, like, really, what got you interested in this line of work?
I'll tell you what, that there's two different stories to that. You've got the radio side, you've got the paranormal side, and then they all came together as one, which I just love.
Right.
It all started back in late 2002. And I was skeptical. I didn't believe in ghosts or anything like that, anything. And I was invited to a ghost tour, a local ghost tour here with Jason Snyder, the Crawford County, Illinois Ghost Hunter Society. And I'll plug them because they're amazing.
Right.
I went out there and went with the group. There was a large group of people. We went to an old abandoned general store that was haunted. And I'm thinking, okay, so I have my little recorder. Okay, I had a little analog shoebox recorder. Those millennials listening, that's a cassette tape. with that, I branched off from the group. The group was all taking pictures of this old general store, and it was really creepy looking. I went straight to the barn.
Okay.
Right back to the barn by myself, and climbed up on this little wood pile, sat down. The barn was falling down, and it was just the perfect area because it was quiet. You could hear the crickets. That's about it. Good background. So I start recording. I just hit record on the shoebox recorder and just started asking questions. Is there anybody here? Anybody want to talk? Gave it a few minutes, and then get home after the tour's done. Of course, I didn't see anything. I didn't hear anything. I still wasn't a believer. I was like, okay, it's kind of cool, but no. So I plug in the shoebox recorder to my computer, and lo and behold, I hear a horse. Okay, of all things, it was the first EVP I captured. It was a horse.
Oh, wow.
And I could hear the noise, and then like a stomp, like it was upset or something like that, the stomp on the ground. And that is still on cassette.
Oh my gosh.
Never been digitalized. That is still on cassette in storage. Now, that sparked a massive curiosity. I'm thinking, okay, I hear this noise. Nothing's there. It's pitch black. Okay, something's not right. So
Right.
I became obsessed. Now, back then, there wasn't much on the internet. There was a website, a go-to website, the Association of Electronic Voice Phenomenon, AAEVP, which isn't around anymore, unfortunately.
Right.
And I went there and started looking for information. And that's where I met Sarah Estep. And she just took me under her wing, explained a lot of things. Hey, they're out there. They're not always going to answer, but when they do, you'll know it. And that's when I became obsessed with the field.
Oh, wow.
Now, the way that turned into radio, I searched and searched and searched for people because there really wasn't there back then. There were forums, chat rooms, things of that nature. Not much to look at.
Right.
So I started under Sarah's guidance. I learned all about electronic voice phenomenon. I worked for a magazine called Haunted Times that I was just diving into everything I could. And the radio aspect formed. I wanted to reach more people. I learned enough. I began teaching others how to record, capture, things of that nature.
Okay.
Teaching other people. And I needed a way to get more because I was just doing it on a website, hauntedvoices.com.
Right.
I was just doing it on the website through a chat room.
It's like, okay, how do I reach more people? Well, back then, digital radio, like it is, it's so saturated right now. It's insane. There were hardly any. There were three shows back in the day.
Wow.
At that time, I found what's called an audio server, a radio server. It
Right.
just sends audio information to people, and formed a server that I could get on there and teach others through
Okay.
that server, and they could just listen through the website and so forth. And
Right.
that is when Haunted Voices Radio was born. Because
Okay.
more and more and more used to show up, and
Yeah.
it was just a huge frenzy that started, because back then there wasn't much. You didn't have these things like you do today. So it was
Right.
neat to have that little outlet, and that's where the radio, because I've always been interested in it, of course, radio broadcasting and things of that nature.
Right.
That's where the paranormal met the radio aspect, and
Okay.
it formed Haunted Voices, and then it's grown from there to where you just keep going and going and going.
Right.
But it was a fun adventure.
Oh, I can believe it. Because I know some of the guests you've had on. You know what I mean?
I
You've
can't
had
even
so
remember.
many guests that may not have had a big name at one day, but have a big name now, you know?
Yeah.
So it's amazing to watch that. For myself, because I've had that opportunity to go back and look and research and blah, 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 to see some of your journey and how this has really come about, Now, why is it? Because I know you teach it or you're interested and you have the radio now, but you always say I'm obsessed, because I know you've said you don't do paranormal investigations anymore. And I feel that's kind of sad, because I feel you have so much so much to give, so much to give.
Yeah, I became obsessed with it.
It sounds like it started the first day.
It did. Because I wanted to know why I heard that on the recording, but I didn't hear it with the naked ear.
Right.
And I became obsessed with it. I would get up at 2 a.m. and drive to Atchison, Kansas, to one of my favorite locations, the Sally House, and just boom. I had a key to the place. I would just walk in there and just do my thing.
Right.
It was becoming an obsession. It took over everything. It took over family. It just everything. It consumed me, because I'm kind of a guy that I like absolutes. When I do something, I want a result.
Right.
And you can't prove this. So there's really no way to find out. There's only one way to find out if there's life after death, and that's to meet your maker. Okay?
Well,
But I just found myself being consumed by that, and everything else was pushed aside. And I would say I miss it, but yet I don't,
right.
because I know where it's going to lead.
Right. I get that, because if I didn't hear them, and if it wasn't as tangible it is for me, and if I didn't accept that, I could see where that would take me.
Yeah.
I can understand that, because I did the same thing when I was in medicine. I was like, I had to, and there was never an end to that. Sooner or later you just go, oh, now we teach.
But the beauty of it, DeEtte, is the amazing people that you meet, this field. And when I use the word paranormal, I mean all encompassing.
That's what I was going to ask you. What is your definition of paranormal? Because I know just with the radio station, we're just not Bigfoots and aliens here. What is your definition? What are you looking at?
My definition of paranormal is everything that is not of the norm.
Okay.
Everything. Ghosts, UFOs, Bigfoot, conspiracy theories, metaphysical.
Yeah.
All of that is not of the norm. It has to do with the psyche and so forth. So it's not of the norm. And it's one of those things where over the years, now back in my day years ago, when you said paranormal, it was everything. Now, when you say paranormal, people think ghosts immediately. And that's because of television. Okay.
Yeah.
It's popularized it. It's really brought it out there. It's made people more aware.
Right.
But paranormal itself, in my opinion, is all encompassing. It means all of the above, everything that's not of the norm. And
Right.
it needs to be approached that way, because what I've seen with the community is instead of working together like we used to, we're splitting off. And I understand that the UFO world, that's a huge world. They need their own data and so forth.
Right.
We can all collaborate. What if they're all, they all have the same direction. They all mean something to each other. In order to be a ghost, it has to be some kind of otherworldly kind of thing. So you have all these different definitions, and people are complicating it.
Right.
It's getting really complicated out there. So the word paranormal is it just means not normal, not
Right.
norm. So like you with your psychic abilities, that's not the norm. Not everyone. Why, I know everyone is psychic, so to speak.
But we all don't use it to the 10th degree.
Not everyone chooses to turn it on.
Yeah. Yeah,
Mhm.
which is huge. So through your career, where did that brand because you have all these paranormal investigators that go in, or people that want it, and they go, oh my God, you just talked to ghosts, or you just talked to whatever. Where did that career kind of lead you to? Because clearly it wasn't just ghosts, and it wasn't, and I'm not going to say just radio, because radio is still huge, but where has some of those experiences led you to?
Wow, that's a good question.
It's a
They,
huge answer, isn't it?
I'm kind of stumped on that one. Where has it led me? I mean, it's turned, as a person, it's changed me.
Okay.
Okay, I'll say that as a person, it has changed me tremendously because of all of the people that I've met, and the experiences that I've had, ghostly experiences, mostly.
Right.
The experiences I've had, it changes a person. I
Mm,
used to be so narrow minded.
okay.
I mean, narrow. And this has broadened my entire way of thinking,
Okay.
because it's made me think that anything is possible.
That's awesome.
Mhm.
That's awesome to think of it that way. It's like to be changed is one thing, but to be changed from like like I was talking before I brought you on, of being one person and now these experiences and becoming something different.
Mhm.
It's huge, you know. So what is this Sally house you talked about in the beginning?
Mm.
What is that? I've never heard of it, because you know what, I am learning, because as we both know, I am just really barely got my toes in the haunted investigation pool of things. Um, so what is Sally House?
The Sally House. It's a small house, small colonial style home in Atchison, Kansas.
Okay.
And I worked for a magazine, Haunted Times, as I said earlier. And Christopher Moon, who was the owner of the magazine, had clearance to investigate the Sally House before it was popularized. Now it's pretty much a bed and breakfast. But at the time, we went out there for an investigation. We met Deborah and Tony Pickman. Now, Deb and
Mhm.
Tony Pickman lived in the home, and they were terrorized in that home. And they were on the episode of Sightings and so forth. It's all over the place. You can check out the website at thesallyhouse.com to learn
Okay.
about it. But they were terrorized in the home, especially Tony. He was viciously scratched and
Oh,
burned. They were seeing all kinds of things. Things were catching fire. Little dolls on the step were catching on fire. A rose that was sitting in the windowsill was burnt from the inside out instead of the
wow.
outside in. Crazy things like that in the home.
Right.
So we go out there, we meet the Pickmans. Of course, they're not going to go back into the home, but we had permission to investigate and went out there for the first time. And it was just three of us.
Mhm.
Magazine. We were going to investigate it, of course, write a story, publish it. Now, this home, the story behind it, there's a little girl who late Peter James, who was a psychic, named her Sally, said, heard her name was Sally. Uh, she was little, I'd say between 8 and 9 years old. Um, Back in the 1890s, she had appendicitis is what happened. She came down with appendicitis. The doctor came to assess the situation and she needed surgery immediately. So they put her under.
Okay.
They didn't give her enough ether.
Oh.
She woke up during surgery. And
Oh.
it was horrified, just horrifying. She died, of course, and the area is just haunted. Now,
Right.
haunted by the doctor, by the father, the mother, and little Sally. Now, there's other things in there as well. That's due to other paranormal activity in there, but
Right.
that house, it just, and with Tony being hurt and injured in there, it was the mother who became obsessed with him. This is what the conclusion we came to. The mother became obsessed with Tony, just had a huge crush on him. A lot of things happened to him in there, very jealous of him and things.
Right.
But the Sally house itself, I don't know. That is what I think got me more obsessed with this field, is because I couldn't figure things out in that home. I'm seeing things in there. I was scratched on the back of my leg. I see the little girl in the kitchen. I see the apparition, and I'm wondering, why in the world am I seeing this? And I became so confused with the field, because this was a fairly, I mean, I was just getting started back then.
Right.
I had to talk to a priest.
Oh, wow.
Because, Father, am I supposed to see these things? Am I going to go to hell because I want to see these things? I became really confused with the normal.
Right.
You in this field, you really can't conform to the norm, as they say. You just can't. You no longer become average.
We are a new norm.
If you're in this field, you are above average, I feel, because
Right.
you are stepping outside of the box.
Right.
But that house I became obsessed with.
Okay.
And was going there constantly.
I can see where that happened.
Yeah, I was going there constantly. That's where the Discovery Channel came in. That was a fun time in my life. It was.
Yeah. Let's go there. I want to hear about that. Thank you for the lead in, because it was like, whoop, that was the next.
I was blown away by the whole thing.
Right.
Just getting started. Now, this is back in, I had some experience under my belt, had an investigation team, was doing my own thing, to make a long story short. And just out of the blue, I get contacted because I investigated the Sally house so much. It was everywhere. I get contacted by, they were called New Dominion Pictures. They're the production company for Discovery Channel. They did a series called A Haunting back in the day. And
it's still on. It's still going.
Is it still going?
Yeah, Rob just was on. That's what he actually.
Oh, A Haunting. Okay, it's still going.
It's still going.
Okay, good. But it was this one was called Sally's House.
Yeah.
And they contacted me at first to be an advisor. Next thing you know, I'm on camera. I'm all stunned and like a deer caught in headlights.
Right.
But did the interview, got a hold of Deb and Tony, got them involved, and it's called A Haunting, the Sally House.
Yeah.
That aired, I think that was back in 2010, 11, something like that. Not, yeah, but it was a change, because I got to see how production can change people as well.
Right.
With all these popular television programs, and I want to warn any investigator out there as well, there was something called a poetic license.
Okay.
That do not sign this, folks, if you're listening and you're ever offered this. This allows them to alter everything, what you say, the evidence you bring forth, and so forth, a poetic license and so forth. That is the only downside to that production, was the poetic license, being naive,
right,
and being thrown all this paperwork. I signed that. And that pretty much gave up all my rights to everything, including a video that I have on YouTube that they now own.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Things get taken over like that.
Wow.
And it's sad, but that's the production part. Will I do it again? Probably not. Television is not my thing. It's not my thing.
You like to stay behind the camera.
Yeah. I'm very shy. I'm introverted, believe it or not. I don't enjoy leaving the home.
Right.
Really. And people really don't see that because I can sit here and run my jibs.
Right. But that doesn't mean, you know what? That doesn't mean that you're not, it doesn't mean you're a person that's like very out there, you know what I mean? And all over the place. AKA why you went to ghosts instead of people, you know?
I'm more afraid of the living than I am the dead. I mean,
You know, I get that too sometimes. You know what I mean? I get that too. Unfortunately, well, it's a fortunate thing I have to deal with the living to get to the dead in my line of work anyway. You know?
I want to give a quick shout out if I can. A
Please
buddy
do.
listening, and two of them.
Oh, beg pardon? Awesome.
They're bringing up some old memories.
Oh boy, let's talk about some of those old memories.
A lot of these things, DeEtte, I've forgotten. I really have. I've forgotten a lot of the ghostly field, the paranormal field since I retired.
You've been reminded, so I get to see those comments very briefly, but I know you're seeing them on your side, so let's bring it through.
One of them that Greg wants to talk about is the old Quaker schoolhouse. Now, this is a fun one. This was a little tiny one-room schoolhouse in Annapolis, Illinois. You won't even find it on a map. It's like a little black dot. Tiny town. Well, this little one-room schoolhouse was one of the most active locations that I've come across as far as kids are concerned, ghostly children.
Right.
We had gone there several times, captured several electronic voice phenomena captures there, EVP captures. But one of the most profound, one of the most amazing that I can remember is we're sitting on this little podium, on the teacher's podium there, and just talking to the kids. And then out of the blue, something just runs right across the schoolhouse. You have these old crickety floors. You hear this little stamping feet running.
Right.
And now you heard that with the naked ear. It wasn't an animal because you could see in front of you. But the schoolhouse itself was one of those locations back in the 40s, 30s, even farther back. They were going there. And we met the owner, and he says, "Look, I don't believe in ghosts. I see you believe in them. Go have fun." He used to go there as a kid. So he was telling us where things were. And, you know, it was really helping paint a picture for the little investigations we did out there.
Right.
Now, one of the most amazing captures that I got out of there, and it's on videotape, VHS, for you millennials, that is a VCR recorder. I love it, guys. You're the next generation. Just get in this field and kick some tail, would you? But with this capture, this was on video, and it's unique because it's a video anomaly and an audio anomaly.
Right.
Now I'm filming outside through the window, just inside with a night vision camera, and then bring the recording home, watch it, just watching it up. You know, you plug the camcorder into the TV, you know, the old school way, watching it through the TV, and out of the window comes this beautiful white ball of light. And then you hear, "Hey," real loud. And then a second smaller ball of light comes out and you hear, "Hey, Daddy." And how in the world did we not hear that? It is so loud. It was one of those things where if literally, if I didn't see it, I wouldn't have believed it.
Right.
Because all I could hear at the time were crickets, things of that nature at night.
Right.
But this just completely blew me away. And Scott said that's probably when they used to pick the kids up. He said they would come in cars, they would come in wagons, you know, the Quakers and things. And it was probably somebody picking up their kids or something of that nature. Amazing though. And I'm thinking, how in the world did this get captured on this, but I didn't hear it with my naked ear? Then I came up with an idea, a theory, if you will. And that is the magnetic tape, which I would still use to this day. I think they imprint themselves onto that tape using some kind of static electricity, because that's all the magnetic tape does. It sticks.
Right.
The sound sticks to it basically and is imprinted onto the tape. Same concept, I believe.
Right.
And
That
again,
is
the obsession, DeEtte.
I understand it, because I'll tell you what, the one haunting place I did, I look back over the experience, and it's huge. I could see where people get that I want to do more and more and more. I get that. I understand that. I can understand where that would become a way of life, you know. My thing is I don't want to go in and get the other aspect of the boo. You know what I mean? I don't want to be walking through, go, hey, don't touch me. Other people like that. I'm not like a touchy-feely from the afterworld.
There are times, and anyone in this field, any investigator that says, I've never been scared, get out of the field.
Right.
You're in the wrong line of work. You should always have a side of caution in the back of your mind.
Right.
You're always going to have a little fear.
Right.
It's the unknown. Like when I've seen 2 apparitions in my time, and still can't complain them, and still horrified by them, still terrified, still think about them, because how in the world did I see that?
Right. Well, just like when we were over in Iowa, we were pretty much given a granted access from the other side that you have up until this time to talk to the friendly ones, the happy ones, the ones that aren't there. But trust me, at basically the stroke of 11 o'clock, and we didn't even get until midnight, the not so happies are coming out to play. So it was, the lovely ones that were there to let us know this is what was going to happen, and you're like, okay, and I didn't stick around to find out if that was a night maintenance man that had passed away, or maybe an angry, patient that was there. Who knows? I wasn't sticking around long enough to find out.
That's what I like about what you do.
Yeah.
I don't have the mediumship ability.
Right.
And during these investigations, I would use a lot of researchers will not use a psychic during their investigations. I'm completely different.
Yeah.
Because if you were there and you can give me any kind of information,
right,
the area, that just helps me take a step forward.
Right.
And you can help validate things as well as a medium.
Right.
I don't know why. I think a lot of researchers out there don't use psychics because they're using a scientific approach.
Well, and I get that. I do get that. But you know what? Through different technology that has been able to explore the brain and how the brain really does work, they're finding that the medium does have a very valid scientific, there's scientific proof of my brain now, so, like when I was there, we're in Edinburgh, like I told you before and told others before, the spirits didn't want the EVPs and the ghost box, all of it going on. They didn't want any of it. And I could understand it, this is night after night after night, and they're not in this, they're living their night after night after night too, just as it is with anybody. And you get the ghost box with all the static and the million questions, and everybody wants the big booms, and they want the scary guy at midnight and all of that. You know what I mean? That's what seems like a lot of people were going for. And we ended up taking a total different approach because we were mediums. We're able to hear like, oh my God, just talk to us. Like, just leave the crap behind and just talk. And we were able to go back to basic tools. We were able to go back to our own senses. We were able to use a pendulum, dowsing rods, without the rest. And I'm sure now that I sit here thinking about it with you, we probably could have videotaped with our phone and they probably would have been fine, because you could feel the energy change in the room. Even people that weren't mediums could feel that energy just skyrocket when we played, Hank Williams songs. You could feel the soul just da-da, like that's what I want, and you could feel that energy. It was amazing, or asking questions with a dowsing rod and I'm holding them. Clearly I'm not moving, and you could see the spirit, answering questions, yes or no, or pointing to different things in the room. You'd see those rods give me a hug as I'm going, oh my God, she's giving me a hug. And the rods went hugged my body,
Uh-huh.
So, to me, that was huge enough. We didn't need the stomps in the hall or the fan that mysteriously that's half plugged in starts turning. That was all cool. Don't get me wrong. It was like, that's a ghost hunter's dream, I'm sure. But
Could
to
be.
me, the rest was amazing, But
Yeah.
again, I don't want to go back in yet.
Well,
So
you'll get used to it. You've got to keep
you're
doing
like,
it.
you do it. You do it. I'm going to send you on location. You do it.
Get out there and use your abilities. It's important. It's important.
I can already see what's happening. You're going to go, okay, you're taking the phone with you for the Wi-Fi and you're going back in and we're doing a radio show from location. I'm sending you all in. All the mediums meet. Here comes Pete, Missy, Nicole.
That's what we need. That's what we need. A big team investigation like
Yeah.
that. Great.
Yeah, but you'd sit home on the computer because you don't want to come out and play.
I get out there. Sherry and I, I get out there a little bit. We went to a local cemetery here.
Yeah.
It's called the Betsy Reed Cemetery.
Oh.
And this is where the story behind this is crazy. This was back in the day, in the early 1800s, mid 1800s, where
You went in the mid 1800s or the cemetery was in the mid 1800s?
Both.
Okay.
This incident.
Okay.
Because she was one of the first ones planted there.
Okay. Well, I thought you went there in the 1800s. Like
No.
that really proves that you're the very first investigator. That
Maybe in a past life.
Okay.
The cemetery is it's old, and the story
Right.
about this the Betsy Reed, I guess she killed her husband is what happened. She poisoned his sassafras tea and killed him. And Sherry and I went out there. I'd been out there several times before, but Sherry and I went out there, and this was probably 8 months ago.
Right.
Went out there just to kind of blow the rust off a little bit, see if, and I did a short session in there with a digital recorder, believe it or not.
Right. Oh my gosh, you came to the millennial age.
The millennial age. But we're out there, and again, didn't hear anything. Bring the recorder home, process it, and lo and behold, there was a little boy. When we were leaving, we said, okay, we're leaving. You're not welcome to come with us. You stay here. Some kind of, closure.
Right.
And then on the EVP capture that her and I captured, the little boy says, behind you. Behind you. Craziness. And I'm thinking, okay. They're still there. Everything's still there, going around, doing its thing. So it's little things like that might toss me back into the field again. But
Right.
again, DeEtte is that little fear.
Right.
Fear
Where
that
you would
every
go.
investigator should have, that I'm going to get obsessed again. The next thing you know, the station's closed.
Jen's trying to figure out technology on her own.
I'm sitting in some abandoned house somewhere. You guys are on your own. That's what I'm afraid of. And I'm sure a lot of other investigators have gone through that as well.
Oh,
I'm
I'm sure.
curious if they've been obsessed with it.
I'm sure. So I have a question, and then maybe this is a strange one, and I don't know, maybe you've been asked before, but you know how you just said, you say that closing, goodbye, you're not welcome to come with, blah, blah, blah. You get in your car and you drive away. Now, have you ever gotten home and just checked, like recorded again to make sure nobody said open the door so I can get out of the car?
Funny you mention that.
I mean, because everybody says, what if they come with, blah blah blah. But I could see you saying, okay, one last time before I unlock the doors. Do I need to sage my car?
I I traumatized my children.
Oh,
My oldest at the time, she was 12, and my youngest was 2. The Sally house again. I brought them home with me.
oh,
The 2-year-old, she was seeing all kinds of things, playing with a little girl in her room.
right.
And then one night, my oldest comes into the bedroom, just crying her eyes out, terrified, 12 years old. She had saw the little girl at the foot of her bed, and it shut off her radio. She had to go to sleep with the radio, shut that off. So I brought him home,
Right.
and I'm thinking, okay, I can do this by myself because, I can clear this house.
Right.
Yeah, I know enough to clear it. No, I don't. And no one else should do that either unless you're a professional. So here I get the sage, just like you said,
Right.
and I try to smudge. Well, inexperienced me, I'm smudging with all the windows shut. There's nowhere for them to go.
Right.
So then they became ticked off. And that's when I heard my 2-year-old was squawking and talking. She said, "Dad, you killed the doctor." You killed the doctor, because that she was playing with. So whatever was in that home came back with me.
Right.
And then we didn't do anything professionally to clear it or anything of that nature. It's still a little rickety. My daughter actually lives in the old house now.
Okay.
There's still things that happen in there
Right.
that she reports. She's had a couple teams out there to investigate it herself because of it.
Right.
So be careful.
Oh yeah. I
Close.
have a fabulous friend that does clearings for me. So I can sage, I can pray, I can do my own, which is, pretty amazing, but just in case,
Mhm.
because I do live in a home that has a lot of spirits in it. So I've had her come in and do her work. So, and I always say, seek your professional in that field, seek somebody in that field to do what you need to do, so that's my thought on it. So what other things have you done in your career of a psychic investigator beyond the radio, beyond a haunting, you know?
Besides an investigator, what have I done in my life? I was a corrections
Well,
officer for years.
well, that explains so much.
I was a
I
corrections
was
officer for years.
I was a prison nurse.
Oh, we used to love you guys. No, but I've done things. I've had a normal life.
I meant within your field of paranormal investigating, because I know you said to bio on me that you've done, you know what I mean, not just shows. You've done the radio, you've done the haunting, you've been, the bio's huge. The bio's huge.
I'm humble.
Well, this is not the time to be humble because I asked the
I know-
question. I'm putting you on the spot, Todd, because I may not get you in this place ever again.
I've been on numerous radio programs. One of the most popular was my appearance on the Man Cow show in Chicago. That was a huge undertaking where it was during Halloween. He wanted to know what EVP was, and he wanted to know right now.
Right.
If you've ever listened to Man Cow or heard of Man Cow,
I have not. So
this
tell
guy
me
is
about
vicious.
this.
He is like the Howard Stern of talk.
Oh, okay.
He's vicious. Different programs like that. Now, one that stands out in my mind was something I did here for the local CBS Channel 10 called the Ashmore Experiment. I was at the Ashmore Estates for 3 days with the local weatherman, Kevin Orpert.
Okay.
And it was his project, and it was called Skeptics versus Believers. He
Okay.
had 3 skeptics and he had 3 believers. And we were all let loose in the Ashmore Estates in Ashmore, Illinois, to prove or disprove. The funny thing that happened, the next thing you know, after that weekend, you see the weatherman with a sling on his arm. Okay, he hurt his arm. He's a believer now. But
He has a sling. He believes.
I was off helping.
It was a baseball accident after the shooting was done, but he believes.
What had happened to the poor guy is he was standing there by the nurse's station in Ashmore, and he saw an apparition, and it scared the hell out of him. And he stumbled when he fell back, hurt his shoulder.
Oh.
But the experiment, it ended with pretty much even, because there were a few things captured, but really the skeptics couldn't. They were like, that's not. No, we can't take that. They said, yes, it felt creepy, it felt eerie, things of that nature in there, but they just left still not believing.
Right.
But the believers that were there, we understood what was going on. They don't perform.
No, they don't.
It's
They don't perform.
Yeah, it's sad what people do to try and get some kind of evidence. I mean, come on, be responsible. Crying out loud.
Yeah, because like even a friend of mine that talked about, and I always go back to Edinburgh because it's really the only one I've done. But she had told me that when she went, and she was a complete like, oh my God, just two girls getting together with lollipops, basically. Like, let's go do this because it sounds like fun. And this is a certain night that the lady that owns it let 2 different teams in because these were 2 girls that were just, she figured probably they'd be there till midnight, 10 o'clock and leave. And another paranormal investigation team were there. And, the team was like, they ain't going to bother us, And they actually had a medium on their team. And they got nothing. They were getting absolutely nothing with all their boxes and this and that. And even the medium was getting nothing. And I know now why the medium was getting nothing. But yet these 2 people that didn't know anything that they were doing, they had a flashlight, And the team taught them a few things in the very beginning, like they had them download something on their phone, and they were getting everything. They actually seen a pair, they seen it all. So that the investigation team started following them because they were actually getting stuff.
Yeah.
But it was like, turn off your stuff. And that's what we found. When you turned off all the equipment, the spirit showed up. You know what I mean? It's, I don't know if I told you about this, but when I went to, I can't say, I did done 2 investigations. The first one was like a tour and watched other people do it. And it was so funny because they told us where they're going to go take us in the basement in the tunnels. And that's my scary spot because that takes me back to childhood, that darkness and like knowing something's there, but I can't see it. I can't, I can just feel it. And as we were walking into the tunnels, I was seeing nurses having sex and patients and everything down there partying, having a good old time. And when they set up the little light contraptions that flicker on when spirits close to them and all that, tons of activity. And we're all against the walls. And you could hear all this, and it was just a ton of things you could see and I could hear. And literally when they went to hit the ghost box, I heard busted and every spirit left. And from that moment on, from as long as that ghost box was on, no spirit was around. Instantly gone. Like, we don't want to be recorded. You know what? We're not here for we're not here for all of that.
And I wish if any investigators out there listening and you have a huge amount of equipment, that doesn't mean a thing.
Yeah.
Use that equipment. Less is more out in the field. I can't stress that enough.
Yeah.
We heard those when that little kid came running across that floor. We had nothing.
Right.
Nothing. Just a flashlight. Nothing. Just like you said. You're dealing with people okay, that have been, let's say they're back in the 1700s and so forth. They don't know what a radio is. They don't
Right.
know what this is, and it may scare them.
Yeah.
And you should always, especially your first few investigations, slowly introduce them to the equipment. Don't go in there guns blazing and set up all this DVRs. You're going to scare the hell out of them and the people around you.
Right.
Take it slow.
Yeah.
Do the interview. Make sure the client's not blowing smoke, which a lot of them like the weekend entertainment that's free.
Right.
Interview your client. It's very important. Interview them. Ask them the personal questions. What kind of medication are you on? Some of the medication causes hallucinations and things.
Right.
Be open with the client. Go in there, do your thing, and your first few investigations, try less equipment. Try nothing. Try going in there just with the client, reenacting something they did. Maybe they did a particular. They rearranged the living room. Rearrange the living room again and see if it happens. Do things like that with the client.
Okay.
That's why a lot of people don't like doing residential investigations. I mean, it's dangerous for one thing. You don't know these people from Adam, so definitely you want to, get to know your client.
Right.
But less is more. I mean, I can't stress that enough.
Right.
The new equipment they have these grid net things. They have just all kinds of stick men, zoom, wham, whams, whatever they are. That's great and all, but use that when necessary.
Right.
Don't come out guns blazing like that. I think personally you're going to get less. You're going to scare them off.
Right. Well, I know that was my experience, and I don't know if it's because the building was explored so much, because it's, they actually have some TV show went in there and it's going to air September 4th. I can't remember which one it was, but so they've got a ton of exploration all the time, and like they said, they were sick of hearing it. That's all we heard. We're sick of hearing it. Nobody talks to the quiet ones. They all want the big ones, and there was a patient almost every room, but nobody talked to those. They wanted the angry man from the basement. They wanted the loud guy walking through the hall. They didn't want the little old lady that has Alzheimer's, that thinks she's a little girl still. They didn't want to talk to the husband that's still coming to visit her. They didn't want to talk to, the patient that was dying in bed. They wanted to talk, again, they wanted all the big booms. And literally, we didn't get anything off the big booms. We got everything off the small stuff.
Mm-hmm.
We got a night of it. We got so much in like 5 hours. We were like ready to go. We were exhausted. It's like, wow. And people stay up all night for this. Why? It's 10:30. I'm ready for bed.
But they're fun and you learn so much from them.
Yeah.
You do.
Yeah.
You learn about the people you're with as well, because you have nothing but time with them during an investigation or so forth. You're just, there's really not a lot to do. It's not like you see on television. There's not action every 5 minutes.
Right.
It could be hours before something happens, or something may never happen.
Right.
So be aware. It's not all fun and games. It's not like it is on television.
So I have a question for you. After all your time investigating and everything that you've done that's on your bio, were you able to ever prove within not just your mind, but that there is life after death? Are you satisfied now?
I am satisfied. In my mind, and that is a fantastic question. In my mind, I was skeptical when I started this. I was doubtful. I believed in a higher power, don't get me wrong. But now I can sit here and say, without a doubt in my mind, which I've talked to a priest, cleared that up. I've even talked to psychiatrists and cleared that up.
Cleared that up.
I can sit here and say, in my mind, I believe there is life after death.
Right.
There is something. Either we go to a different plane, or we go to some heavenly area, which I know a lot of that's man-made and so forth, but there is something. I don't think it's just black when we pass. I think there's something happens.
Right.
Yeah.
I always say spirit's just 3 feet away from you. 3 feet away from you. But then my world of spirit is different than your world of spirit, because my world of spirit have decided to made a big decision to say, I want to go back. I'm going to go back to the populace. I'm going to go back to heaven. I'm going to go back to God. I'm going to follow the light, whatever you want to call it. Your spirit say, oh, I'm going to stay here. I'm having fun. I don't want to go there. They're the kind that go boo.
And I want to go back to the pre-screening with clients, because there was a good comment here.
Okay, what is it?
Just get this out. It says pre-screening for meds and medical history is very good if you have the background and the client is willing to be honest and forward. We had a team of mostly healthcare people, including 2 nurses. And that's true. I just want to stress how important that is.
Mm-hmm.
Because bad things can happen during an investigation as well.
Yeah.
We had one where a guy wasn't all there upstairs and we didn't know. And he specifically, he said, you guys can find a ghost, but you can't find my cat. And he went and got his shotgun. A shotgun. Yeah. This guy he didn't shoot at us or anything. He just, it was a threat.
Right.
He just went nuts. And I think he just wanted some free entertainment. So be careful out there, because you screen these people. I mean, interview the hell out of them.
Yeah.
It's important.
And I think that's important for both. You know what I mean? For both. Because like you said, you've been scratched. You've been, you've had it all.
Mm-hmm.
You've had it all. What other kind of experiences have you had on that may not be so positive on investigations? Now that I'm thinking about it.
I would say the Sally House was probably the most negative area I've been to, without getting into religion or anything like that. But that was a case that I won't go back to that home.
Okay.
I think there's something there. There's something wrong with it. It's disturbed religiously wise. it's disturbed.
Well, considering how much time you've spent at it,
It's the best of both worlds in there.
Yeah, to come to that conclusion.
You've got regular spirits in there, and then you've got some that I think are not.
Yeah.
I just don't think they are.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's definitely changed me quite a bit.
Definitely changed you. It's probably why you stay home more often now.
It could be.
It
It very well could be.
I know my 4 walls are pretty good.
Me here.
We're good in here. We don't have to go nowhere. We don't have to go nowhere.
I love people, DeEtte. I love meeting new people. I enjoy it. It's just, I'm not a public kind of person like I used to. I'm more reclusive.
I completely get it, because I have my times where I'm both. I have my times where I'm like, oh my God, I can't get enough. And there's other times where you can't pull me out of my house for a week. So I get it. I'm both. I go both ways. God, it sounds weird, but it's just, it is what it is. So I want to take a few minutes, and I want, before, my time with you on screen is over. And I want to talk about the radio station.
Okay.
I want to talk about this, because I don't want to walk away from this and not have more information about the radio station, because I know you've been doing this a long time. I know Haunted Voices has been a station for a long time, but I also know you started this up a little over a year ago. Well, God, we can almost say almost 2 years ago is when me and you actually, even though my first show only aired a little over a year ago, you and me talked almost 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And it was you on the radio, and then you brought me in and said, let's build this, like you were coming back after a period of time, So let's talk about that station. One, why did you walk away? Why did you decide to come back? And where are your aims with it?
Oh, great question. This is WLTK-DB is my second station that I've built. The first that I built was in Chicago, called 24.7 The Stream, and I sold it for a sizable profit.
Oh boy.
Built it. And then one of the interns that worked for the station loved it so much he wanted it. So this is my second attempt. I took a long break because it's a lot of work. There's a lot that goes into putting one of these together. There's a lot of great stations out there all over the internet now. So many phenomenal stations out there. KGRA to name one. There's just a lot of great programming.
Right.
But the problem is people seeing your programming. It is so saturated. So as you guys know, and people watching now know, we upgraded recently from audio to video. Now we do both.
Yes.
The station itself, it's a labor of love. WLTK-DB are the call letters. Those are registered call letters with the National Association of Digital Broadcasters. So it is a digital radio station. Now, with a lot of things that are going to be coming into it, we just built the new website. We just went to video. There's new things that I'm going to be trying to be coming out here later on, if they work. But I like the direction it's going. The people I've met, we just got a new show the other day, DeEtte. I don't even know if I know.
I'm so excited.
Christina Bloom is joining
Yes, I know. I love it. I've been working on her for a year.
The reason I made this thing, the main reason I made this station was back in the day, it was so hard for me to broadcast. I mean, so hard. Because I had to run this, and run a show. That is incredibly hard to do.
Right.
So I wanted to make something where people, the host, all you have to do is show up.
Right.
No technical, no nothing. You have to have no knowledge whatsoever. You're a beginner.
I hit a button and here I am.
DeEtte, you are a prime example. You have come so far. I have. And it's fun. It's a family type station. I wanted that. I want everything to be open, everything to be approachable.
Right.
I don't want people to come here and be afraid, thinking, oh, it's a paranormal talk. Ooh, no. There's a lot of great, interesting programming that we have.
It is, and it's not all paranormal. Well, it's not all ghost hunting.
Well, there you go.
It's not all ghost hunting. Mm-hmm. We all actually have our own little angles, our own little things that we talk about.
Absolutely.
That is under that paranormal, umbrella. So,
and it's so simple to come on board the station. If you folks want a show, it's affordable, it's quality. I'm right there behind the scenes during every show.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun. And
except for last week, I think you went to the bathroom and I kept going, Todd. I could hear you and Cheer in the background going, you were laughing so hard you couldn't type.
Sometimes the dogs need attention. And normally I say stepping away for a moment, but I thought it was going to be quicker than that, and it ended up not being quick.
It was awesome.
Yeah,
that's never happened in over a year. That never happened. So.
You multitask a lot during one of these shows.
I love it. So, how do people find to get to this radio station if they want to advertise, if they want to get their own station? How many slots do we have left? I mean, is the sky the limit? I mean,
one spot left.
One spot.
That's it. One spot, and I cannot handle anymore. I'm just one guy. It's just me. God. I don't have a team, folks. I don't have staff. It's just me. So I can handle one more. And the packages start anywhere from $25 a month all the way up to $120 a month. And it's all right there on the website, WLTK-DB.com or theletstalk.com. You can go to either one of those, click on host, and you'll see all the information. It's really simple. It's a lot of fun. There's one spot left. If you guys want to advertise, that's cheap as well. I mean, we're talking, you can get started for $10. Advertise a book or whatever, $10. It could be audio or video. I'm learning how to make those now.
Right.
So just contact us. just email us. Don't be shy. There's a lot of people out there, especially after COVID. You've got a lot to talk about. A lot of things happened during COVID times, folks. So get out there and find this spot and just be you, a place you can be you. You don't have to worry about any tech issues or anything like that. We do everything for you.
Yeah, which is pretty amazing. That is freaking amazing. And, and I'm going to just plug this. Be really pressure Todd. He might even offer to build a website. It's not in the radio packaging, but he does it.
Sites, do imaging, things like that, folks. So just contact me through the website.
There you go. Because all of our banners, everything are done by Todd. I mean, he really is a man behind the mic. He's the man behind everything. There's nothing I have seen so far he doesn't do. Seriously. And it's just, I have to tell you, it's been amazing just to work with you for over a year now. And I will say it's been almost 2 years because you took forever to get me. You literally went, we're done practicing. You're live next week. No, we're not.
Yeah. We trained you for quite a bit, DeEtte.
I think it was more
push you out of the nest.
The shit for, 6 months plus.
We had to push you out of the nest.
You did. And I think I hit the ground and bounced a few times, but eventually I flew. I mean, through bad internet and all of it, and I think I've had it all. You've taken me to Windows to the Mac.
Yep.
I've upgraded everything. So there we go. Thank you so much, Todd, for being in front of the camera and speaking with me and sharing your knowledge, sharing your face, all of it. I appreciate you so much.
Thank you.
For today and all you do.
Thank you very much for everything. Thanks for having me. It was a great time, DeEtte.
Oh, it's awesome.
On the other side.
I know. It's like, I'm like, oh my God, Todd's coming out, guys. Like, even more shorts.
Yeah, it's the name of the game.
I'm kidding. He probably gets dressed every day. I don't know. I never get to see him. So there you go.
But thank you very much. And I can't wait for the reading today.
Oh, me too.
Number 4.
Are you going to do it or should I?
I'm taking number 4.
You're taking number 4? Perfect. Okay, so apparently I'm doing the reading. Okay, now I get it. Beautiful. Okay, everybody, this has been Todd Bates on with me today. I'm DeEtte Ranae with Schooled Thru Spirit. I'll be back in a few minutes with your weekly reading.
Paranormal evidence. We scour the internet searching for true paranormal captures, information, and education. New methods mixed with old methods of capturing this mysterious phenomenon. Well, look no further for your ghostly voices than ghostly-voices.com. Nicole Tito and Lisa Crick take you on a journey into their paranormal world and provide you with true EVP and ITC audio captures, compelling information on debunking, some hilarious bloopers, and more. Remember, these two are veterans in the field and know how to capture the true evidence you are looking for. Ghostly-voices.com, your paranormal stop for true audio evidence. Ghostly-voices.com. A book of mystery, a book of one man's journey, a book of the afterlife, a book you must read. Ghost and Me by 5-time award-winning author Kevin Killen is a book of one man's journey in the search of the afterlife. Read of his chilling childhood experience, his investigative journeys, and his opinions of paranormal activity. Ghost and Me by Kevin Killen, an Ozark Mountain publication. Get your copy today online or wherever books are sold.
Welcome back. I'm DeEtte Ranae here at Schooled Thru Spirit with WLTK-DB, and that is digital radio. I've had the most beautiful opportunity of being able to sit with me today is my producer, Todd Bates. He was my guest today. Truly, truly, just such a beautiful guest to have on. Such a wealth of information, life experiences. I like the fact that he was able to give me those true life experiences of what an investigator is, what he does, and really behind the scenes of the investigator. The most people that give it, if I talk to them, they're going to talk about the sets and the scenes and everything else. And he gave us a lot about the backstory, which I'm truly just in awe of that. We're going to go with the weekly reading today. I am using, again, because I love these cards. I love these cards. And it's Lisa Williams Intuitive Soul Oracle cards. I really do love these cards. And I'll tell you what, I love them now because now, can't get them, guys. Can't get them. Because I literally kept going back to my store. Can I get another? Can I get another? Can I get another one? To give them away as gifts to people. And they no longer can get them from their warehouse, their place that they order stuff from. So if you are a lucky person to walk into a bookstore, if you find them used, if you find them brand new, whatever you are lucky to grab them, because I'll tell you what, there's no more of these being made, okay? And it's such a shame. It really is, because when you look at just the illustrations on these cards, let's show you some. I don't know if you can see this. It's like the butterfly card. It's just a beautiful illustration. I don't know if I'm backwards on my screening. Like this, the illustrations are amazing. I love these things. There's another one. They're simple to read, they're simple to see. Just beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And all I can do is hope and pray she makes another deck that, it can stand up to the test of this one did. I simply just love this deck. And I think I've got all my cards backwards. Oh my God. So we are going to pull, I'm here 5 cards today, guys. We're going to pull 5 cards. As you heard, Todd picked 4, card number 4. Now, so how that works, you can pick a card. You're going to pick number 1 through number 5. You can pick 1, 2, 3, 4, or all 5 cards, whatever you feel like doing. I'm going to pull the cards and tell you what I'm getting from the card, okay? I am also going to pull a clarifying card from the Akashic. Oh my God, right, there we go. The Akashic, I got to figure out the light in the new room. The Akashic Tarot Guide, or the Akashic, I can't speak today. The Akashic Tarot by Sharon Ann Klinger and Sandra Ann Taylor. And that's just going to be one card as a clarifier to add to all the other cards. So let's shuffle this deck as we do. And I've been shuffling it for a few minutes here through the break and whatnot to get them all nice and mixed up. Let's do a little bit of cutting. And as always, I will be taking a picture of these cards and put it in the comments after the show, so that anybody wants to refer to it after the week. Ooh, I love this. The love card, guys. The love card. I don't know. There we go. That's bright. I'm going to angle it a little bit away from that sun so you can see it better. The love card. As you can see, it's a rose being held up by some hands kind of floating above it. It's just, to me, it's just eerily special the way it's being held. It's about heartfelt, it says underneath there, heartfelt passion, unconditional love, togetherness with your partner. Now, I love this card because to me, this really is unconditional love of self. It really is love. Love to me is, when I'm looking at this, is not necessarily love of partner. It's love of self. Okay. So if you pick number 1, this really is love of yourself, love of a passion of what you're doing. This is what your focus is this week. It's really bringing forth that, giving that some attention. It is time for you to look at what your heart really has passion for, what your heart has love for, and really helping that to grow. This is where your focus needs to be this week, okay? So if you need focus on love of self, really push for that. If it's a career, if it's a project, whatever it might be, this is really what your heart is feeling, what your passion is, and really pushing towards that and working towards that, okay? So Card number 2. Oh my God. We all know I love this card. It's the spring card. It's new birth, vitality, and fresh start. I love new beginnings. I love, love, love new beginnings. I think everybody should have a new beginning every day because to me they're awesome. And new beginnings for me really are just that. It is that new birth. It can be it doesn't necessarily have to be a baby or a bird or a dog or kitten or whatever it might be. It might be a new birth of an idea, of a project, of a job. But if you pick number 2 this week, you have a lot of new things happening. You have opportunities coming. It's really about that fresh start for you. Okay. So if you pick number 2, you're looking at fresh starts and new beginnings. Okay. Number 3, oh my God, it is keep the faith, believe in self, others, and self knowing. To me, this card just, it says so much when I look at the card. Because to me, it's faith. It's all about faith, guys. It's really about faith. And when I look at faith, faith is really, faith doesn't always necessarily believe in God or believing in a religion. Faith is really believing in yourself. Okay, it's believing a belief in yourself, a belief in others, knowing that everything's happening the way it should, and knowing that everything's going to be okay. Okay, so I'm going to tell you, if you pick card number 3, it's really about the faith, the belief, the faith, the know that everything is going to be just okay. Okay, and that's not always easy to do. That's not always easy to do, especially when you don't have a million things happening. So you really have to have that belief and faith in yourself. And if you pick number 3, that's where you're at. Now, Todd, this one's for you and everybody else that picked 4. It's make a plan. It's making a plan. Making plans, seeing the future, and making changes. And you like how these cards are kind of start going together a little bit to tell a story. So if you pick number 4, this is your time to start. You've already, the ideas are there, the thoughts are there, that those opportunities are starting to present themselves a little bit. And it is time for you to make a plan, to write it down, formulate it in your mind, and make changes to make it happen. Make the changes to make it happen. Okay? There you go. And I will not say it on the camera, but I will say it afterwards. Todd so asked me what number 4 is, what just popped into my head. Oh my God. And number 5, if you pick number 5, I this is another card I love, and it's the winter card. It says underneath your cold holiday celebrations and ends. And for me, the winter card is all about the celebrations. So that's what winter means to me. It's celebrations. For me, it's bringing things together. It's celebrating the happiness. It's celebrate for myself. You have got Thanksgiving, you've got Christmas, you've got New Year's Eve, you got my birthday, you got Valentine's Day, you got so many holidays, so many celebrations that happen in the wintertime when the snow falls. It's not a dead time, it's very much an alive time. It's just a different alive time. It's when the snow owls come out. It's when all those special creatures that you can see the evidence of them being there because you can see the tracks of them in the snow alone. So for myself, if you pick number 5, this is a time of celebration. For me, that's what this card is screaming at me today. It's a time of celebration. It's a time of beauty. It's a time of just taking in that breath and just celebrating in the joy of everything that's going on around you. Okay? For me, that's pretty awesome when you look at it from my point of view. So number 1, let's kind of rehashes. Number 1 was love. It's about love of self, and unconditional love of self. It's about looking at what your passion is and really giving it your whole heartfelt into what your passion is, really giving it a go this week. Number 2 is the spring card. It's all about those new rebirths. It's about fresh starts. It means, hey guys, you got some new things happening. You got things happening that, you know what, maybe you didn't realize, or maybe it's time. It's time. Number 3 was the believe card, which is all about having faith. Having faith in yourself. Have faith that it's gonna happen. Have faith that, you know what, you got the gumption to know how to make this happen. Okay. Number 4 is making a plan. You pick number 4, it means you have the ideas, you have the thoughts. It's time to formulate it, put it down, and make those changes to make those plans happen. And number 5, it is time to celebrate. It is time to celebrate all those things that have happened in life, all those little milestones. It's time to celebrate. It's time to look at the fact and give yourself a pat on the back. Okay. But it's telling me that you've had things going on and it's time for you to celebrate. Celebrate those things. So we're going to grab that clarification card. And the clarification card, really, guys, it's not an extra card to say, hey, I want to pick the clarifier. Because I mean, you can if you want to do it that way. But the clarifying card can really go with any one of the cards, okay? And to me, it's just going, oh, but are you sure? Are you sure? And you pick that one more card to say, yes, I'm sure, okay? Or to expand a little bit on the knowledge you already received. So with this, let's pick it up. Balance, Seven of Forces, balance. And just the picture alone, okay? I love this because even the picture alone, when you're looking at this, at the desk, the balance in between the paperwork, the scrolls, the library, it's a study, it's a desk, it's a place that somebody does work, okay? And this week's, every single one of these cards shows some portion of work. Okay. Show some portion of work. Even with what I talked about at the beginning of the show about what's next, you know, getting the idea, the fresh jobs, having opportunities come to you, learning about them, growing within them, all of it. It's all work on some level. And this card is clarifying this is the week that you're going to make that happen. Okay, because even as I look at the cards as a whole, if I would do this as a reading, I'd really look at it and say, gosh, you have a passion for something and it's time for you to start it. Because, the love cards tell me you have a passion for, something. Of course, if I was doing a reading for an individual, it would probably show me what the passion was about. But, this is a time of fresh start. This is a time for you to make it happen, but you really have to believe in yourself. You really need to believe in yourself to make this happen. But since you have the ideas and you have that the thoughts and the ideas and that passion going on, it's time to make a formula, to make this happen. It's time to write down those plans. It's time to start making the changes to make that happen and celebrate the fact that you did it. By the end of the week, by Friday, you can have something on your desk, because this is where you're going to do the work. And you're going to make it happen because by the end of the week, if you put all these cards together, if you do it and you work at it all week long, this card's going to say you're going to have the balance because you were able to bring it together and do it. You balanced out everything in your life today to make it happen. Okay? So what do you think about those beans? Oh my God, I'll tell you what, I love cards. I love, love, love cards. I'm going to take a picture right away of these cards so you see it. I always got to get my feet out of the picture because I'm really awful about putting my feet in the picture. There we go. Oh my God, I look so awkward and I do that, huh? But I know if I don't take that picture right now, I'm probably going to forget. So that way it lets me put them away as we go and just kind of clean the desk and go on to the next thing. Okay. Now I kind of want to reiterate, and again, that will be, in the comments for everybody to see. I want to kind of go back over a little bit of what Todd said. I know we talked about it while he was on. We have a new show coming out with a new host. You've all seen her on all of our different programs. We've all interviewed her, Christina Bloom. I've been talking to her for a year. Come on, do your own show. Come on, do your own show because she's a rock star. So Christina Bloom is going to have her own show with us. She's already signed up. She is going to do it, which is awesome. Which is totally awesome. So with that being said, we've got room for one more show. One more, okay? One more for where we are at in the lineup, okay? Until we get a little bit more popular and a little bit more bigger and a little bit more staff. We have got room for one more show, okay? Which means if you want to be the person that wants that show, okay? If you want, don't be the one that says, I want it, and then send a message and it's too late because you thought too long. Be the one that says, oh my God, I want this show. And you jump on and you take the show. Okay. That's what I want to see. Okay. So make sure you take that, make sure you jump on that and make that happen. Okay. So with that being said, we have one more show. And as always, just go to WLTK-DB.com. And there is a little button there that says, hey, you're going to have to go in the menu and whatnot, but there's going to be a button saying, hey, I want to talk to you about a show. Click the button, send in your ideas. Todd will hook up with you and you guys can talk about it and see where that time slot is for you. He'll help you create a name if you haven't got a name. He'll help you kind of bring your what you want to talk about, interpretation, whatever it is. He's there for you. Again, you can always do advertising at the least because we're a great platform. Remember, our advertisement is there. It goes every time I get on here, every morning that I get on here. Okay. Yes, we are streaming through these modalities. We are streaming through Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, the radio station itself. Those are 5 streams that we're going live right now. Live. But when I'm done talking and the live button goes off, this goes into a podcast form. So while I'm in live, remember, my station is send that out, but because it's digital radio, other digital stations are picking me up and playing it. They're playing it. So this essentially, I'm in Wisconsin, Todd is in Illinois. This is getting played every place that our station goes to, but other stations around the country are picking it up and playing it at the same time. Who knows? It might be in other countries. I might sound like Japanese to somebody. I don't know. We don't know what's going on. But just trust me that guess what? Everywhere my voice is being heard today, your advertisement's going to be heard too. Okay? Your advertisement's going to be heard too. And that is all over the place. That's huge. That's cheap advertisement. Okay? Because I'll tell you right now, if you go to your local newspaper, it's only going to be in your local news. Radio, it's going to be all over the country. Okay, so that's really cheap. If you think about the plans, think about it, go in there, make yourself your own rock star in this, okay? Which to me is huge. To me, that is huge, okay? So let's talk about the programming for the week. And I was smart and I took a picture of it this morning anyway. A picture of it this morning. So this is what our current show listing is, okay? Excuse me. Every Monday morning is me, myself, and I, DeEtte Ranae, with Schooled Thru Spirit, and I am on from 9 Central Time until 11. Our Monday evening show, they canceled. It's okay. That gives you the one spot for you to come on. So on Tuesdays, we have got Kevin Mackey, and that is with Newbridge Radio. He is on at 7 Central Time. We have got Haunted Voices with their very own Todd Bates. He's on 8 Central Time. And then Paranormal Pete, and that's Pete Orea, and he is on at 10 tomorrow night, okay? Now, just so you know, the Good Shit Show is not canceled. It is in hiatus. They have gone, they're revamping, they're re-talking about it, they're reformulating, and they're coming back. Hopefully next week, maybe the week after, I will let you know when the go date is, okay? But don't think you're off, because I'll tell you what, nobody wants to miss that show when it comes back on. But let's jump into Thursday nights, and that is the Afterlife Chronicles, and that's with Nicole Strickland. She's on every Thursday night at 8 o'clock Central. And Friday evenings, we have got Secrets Within. That's at 8 Central with Renee Rodriguez. Okay? And as soon as I know when Christina's show is going to be on and all about it, I will bring that to you every Monday morning too, so that you know where to go, where to sign up. Now, a few things for me. Who's on next week? Kelly Brickle is on, our numerologist from, she's originally from Chicago. She lives in California. Amazing girl. She is on next week. I should probably send that information to my producer because I don't think he knows. She is on next week. It's going to be freaking rocking. Gonna get that going. So I cannot wait for you to be on there and watch her next Monday morning. Just so you know, this weekend, you can find me if you're looking for those personal readings with me. And trust me, I don't do many events anymore. I really do not do many events anymore. Thank you, Ellen, for watching and listening. I'm seeing now, and I love your laughter and your fun. It looks like you're enjoying this today, Miss Ellen. I love it. I love it. I'm trying to put it in the comments, and it's not working. Anyway, I am going to bring this up so I can tell you exactly where I'm going to be. If my phone will not freeze, and it's freezing, it froze. We're going to do this a different way. I'm going to see if I can smart technology. Let me see. I might be able to outsmart technology. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I will be able to. Um, I am at, let me see if I can pronounce it. Kiwana Summer Celebration. Okay. Kiwana Summer Celebration. Um, oh, perfect. I'm going to be able to get to it. Awesome. Kiwani Summer Celebration. Okay. And this is in, drum roll. It's in Calumet, Michigan. Calumet, Michigan. And it is literally, if you go into Wisconsin, go straight up. It's on the Wisconsin side of Michigan, just so you know. It is August 7th, and we will be there from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. It is considered a body, mind, spirit, arts, and crafts fair. And it is so amazing. Weather permitting, weather not permitting, we will be there. We will be under our tents in this beautiful park setting. It is at the Lions Park, Calumet, Michigan. Okay. Just put in Lions Park. I'm going to be there. I haven't been there in a couple years, guys. So excited to go back. And I hope so many people are there to celebrate with us coming back as a group and just rocking it after COVID. Because I'll tell you what, it's such an amazing event. And I'm hoping this year is bigger than it has been in past years. It's awesome. So that's where you can find me this Saturday. Okay, this Saturday. If you can't get to Calumet, if you cannot get to Calumet, that is fine. Christina, it has been on. It is on. Check. Oh, by the way, you can always go to Let's Talk on Facebook. So you can always find the show. Let's Talk on Facebook, and it'll take you right to we're live streaming on Facebook. So, but anyway, if you are literally not wanting to go up to Michigan to get a reading with me and live, that's fine. That's fine. Feel free to go to my website, DeEtteRanae.com. That's DeEtteRanae.com. And you can find me there. You can either go through my scheduler, my phone number's there, you can text me, you can call me, we can get you scheduled. I do phone readings, Zoom, Skype, whatever you need, whatever, we make sure it happens for you one way or another. So always a rhyme to find me and make that happen. Okay. So with that being said, everybody, I'm so happy you joined me today. I hope you enjoyed the show as much as I did. Make sure that if you've missed any part of the show and you want to go back and you hear it, find us in the podcast form. Dude, you can turn on your smart TV, Google iHeartRadio, and boom, there he is. I'm there. Just Google Schooled Thru Spirit, okay? We'll see you next week with Kelly Briggle here on Schooled Thru Spirit with DeEtte Ranae on WLTK-DB.com.